So one of our classmates asked us a couple of questions from the homework for 7.7, and we're trying to figure out this problem here. So it says, simplify the following expression, record the exact answer. Okay, y'all, so the first thing I notice is we have a negative on the inside, so we already know we're going to get an I coming out, right? The next thing I want to know is, can I take the square root of 1350? So I'm going to take my calculator app right here. I'm going to figure out what is the square root of 1350. And unfortunately, it's given me a decimal, right? And we're looking for an exact answer. Not a big deal. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take the number 1350 and we're going to break it down. Because it ends in a 0, I know I can divide it by 10, and that's going to be 135. I know 10 breaks down into 5 and 2, and I can't break those down. And 135, I know I can divide it by 5. Let's see, what's 135 divided by 5? 27. Okay, so let's come back over here, 5 and 27. So look, y'all, first thing I want you to notice, I have a pair of 5s, right? So I know a 5 is going to come outside, and we already have our I coming outside. Now, the number 27, I can break that down into, let me use a black marker. I can break that down into 3 and 9. 3 I can't break down, but 9 I can break down into 3 and 3. So again, I also have a pair of 3s. So a 3 is going to come outside. Now, let's going to see what's going to go back inside. Well, we paired up the 5s, so the 5s came out. We paired up those 3s, so those 3s came out. Excuse me. But that 2 and that 3 were not paired up, so they got to go back inside. And if we multiply them, that's going to give me a 6. Okay. Now, I'm just going to multiply these numbers here. 5 times 3, that's going to give me 15 with an I and the square root of 6. Okay. We also had a second question, so let me go ahead and do this one here too. And it says, evaluate the expression and write the result in A plus BI form. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is we're going to divide complex numbers, okay? So we have minus 2I over 3I. So if y'all remember from yesterday, we said one of the things we're going to do is we're going to use the conjugate. The conjugate says change the sign of the I term. So if that's a 3I, y'all right here, I'm going to multiply by a negative 3I. Let me go back to the black marker. Negative 3I, negative 3I, okay? So let's take this guy and let's go 1 and 2. So negative 3I times a negative 2I should be a positive 6I squared. And negative 3I times a negative 2 should be a positive 6I. Downstairs, 3I times a negative 3I is a negative 9I squared, right? So y'all remember what we said, I squared is negative 1. So that's going to make this positive 6 to a negative 6. Stick with the black, okay? That's going to be a positive 6I that I have right over here. Since I squared is negative 1, that's going to make that into a positive 9. Okay, the only thing I want to do now, y'all, is just simplify this. Let's separate our fraction. So we have negative 6 over 9, and then plus 6I over 9 as well. And then we can reduce those fractions. Y'all, we can divide them both by 3. So that's negative 2/3 plus 2/3 with an I, okay? Now, since we want to write it in the form A plus BI, my A is the number negative 2/3, and my B is the number positive 2/3, right? So A is negative 2 over 3, and B is positive 2 over 3. Y'all have any questions? Let me know. I'm happy to help.